Hello, you're watching AAN News and I'm Ingrid Yanara. As of last week, police reported 9 separate robberies in 10 days, all of which happened around Chinatown area. Police and community groups are warning Chinatown residents, especially seniors, who make an easy target for crooks.
This is the problem. Seniors walking alone through this dark tunnel where crooks wait for their prey. Many Chinese residents live west of Chinatown, leaving them no choice but to walk through the tunnel for groceries and other errands.
Why do the robberies happen around Chinatown?
I think probably easy target, the seniors, and in the early mornings, a lot of it happen in the early mornings, like from 6 to 8.
But as you can see, people are still oblivious to the danger and risk they put themselves in.
You make yourself as a target right there, because once when you pass on into the tunnel, it was so dark, and you are a senior, you cannot run. So in between that both area, it take a long time for them to pass through. So it's a dangerous situation.
In 10 days, 9 people were robbed, some of them carrying as much as $2,000 in cash.
When you go to the casino, probably you get some money. Or you get off the bus, you get some money. So I advise people to not carry that much cash and then walk in groups and try to not walk in the dark in the late hour by themselves.
In October, the Pacific Garden Mission, a downtown homeless shelter, will move into its new facility located just a few miles north of Chinatown, which means more homeless people may turn to panhandling for a quick buck.
This is a chronic problem between 9, 21, 12, and 1st District. We just push them around every day because even though we lock them up, but only a day or two they release. They come back to the community again. And Chinatown is a tourist attraction. I don't think it's too attractive to the tourists when they're harassed by those panhandlers. So I think it will be a problem.
Aggressive panhandling is already a problem in Chinatown, and police worry that an easy target coupled with desperation can turn panhandlers into criminals.
A California company had to recall thousands of pounds of frozen fish from China after 2 Chicagoans got sick from eating them. The fish was labeled as monkfish, but Food and Drug Administration officials suspect it was pufferfish, a delicious food only if toxic parts of the fish are safely removed. According to the FDA, one of the 2 Chicagoans had to be hospitalized. They warned consumers not to buy or eat imported fish labeled as monkfish in case it was mislabeled. They say eating this fish could result in serious illness or death. Hongchang Corporation of Santa Fe Springs began the voluntary recall of the frozen fish, which was sold in September to wholesalers in Illinois, California, and Hawaii. The company had shipped more than 280 boxes with 22 pounds of mislabeled frozen fish in each box. Mayor Richard Daley recently joined Filipino Americans as they celebrate their homeland's freedom from 300 years of Spanish colonization. During the event, the mayor recognized the Filipino community's contribution to our great city and reaffirmed his commitment in welcoming immigrants to our ethnically diverse and booming city of Chicago.
Now on his 6th term, re-elected Chicago Mayor Richard Daley greeted Filipino Americans at the traditional Philippine Independence reception in downtown Chicago. Mayor Daley presented certificate of appreciations to several outstanding Filipino Americans for their leadership in making the city of Chicago a better place to live. The mayor recognized Angeles Carandang for her humanitarian works to the Philippines. Inspirational leader Dr. Virgilio Hanson was honored for his unwavering assistance to the Filipino Chicagoan community. Although non-Filipino, Sam Castagna was given an award for his leadership and successfully managing several Filipino community events.
I think we should all be proud of being Filipino, especially here in the United States, because we know we made a great contribution financially, socially, and in the cultural richness of this nation.
In return, the Filipino community presented the mayor a special gift, a painting by artist Freddie Aces.
I'm very thankful for the committee to choose me as one of the artists that they selected, I think.
Chicago's well-loved mayor also thanked the community for their support in his recent successful re-election bid.
Also, personally, I want to thank you for the support you have given to me in my re-election. I deeply appreciate the Filipino community support and understanding why we want to make this the best city in America and the best city in the world. And I deeply appreciate your friendship, your love, your concern of all of our children in our city. And most importantly, God bless the Philippines and God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
Consul General Blasila Cabrera also assured Mayor Daley of the Filipino community's solid support for Chicago's bid for the 2016 Summer Olympics.
Is if we are honored, and I hope we are, enough to host the 2016 Olympic and Paralympic Games, each and every one of you will play an important role in showcasing our wonderful city's diversity. We all know that Chicago is a great global city that embodies the Olympic ideals of athletic excellence, friendship, and solidarity. And I know the Filipino community is no exception.
Don Tagala, AAN News.
The U.S. Secret Service is out educating people on the dangers of counterfeit money on the streets of Chicago. Elaine Lowe has tips for you on how to spot bogus bills out there.
$2 million of counterfeit money is floating around Chicago. Would you be able to spot a fake? The U.S. Secret Service and Chicago police have teamed up to inform the residents of Chinatown how to spot fake money that's been leaked out onto the streets.
Some of our businesses, like the retail businesses or even the banks, may be vulnerable to counterfeit money. So that's why I thought it would be a good idea to try to educate the people, the business people, so they can be alert of it.
The standby marker test doesn't always work, but here are a few tips for spotting fake money. 1. Perform a field test. The note should feel raised and look three-dimensional.
And here's what the offset looks like when it's magnified. As you can see, the image looks real nice, very solid. However, it is very flat. So if you look at the genuine, you can see the ridges, the shadows of that ink because it is so three-dimensional. So once again, that field test is really good.
2. Check the security thread. The security strip should only be visible under light.
Once again, here's what the counterfeit looks like. If you get a bill and you put it down on a desk and you can still see an image of the security strip, okay, that's counterfeit because the security strip is inside of the paper. Okay, it's not on top of the paper. So when you lay it down on the table where there's no light passing through the bill, you should not see the security strip.
3. Check the watermark. Like the rest of the bill, the edges of the watermark should be fuzzy and not sharp due to the kind of ink and paper used in genuine currency.
The fake watermark is that the lines are very distinct. You can see where they begin and where they end. You can definitively tell. On the genuine watermark, because it's made in the paper, it's a fuzzy image.
If you think you've got fake currency on your hands, please contact the following.
For banker hours, but if you got a late
From Chinatown, Elaine Lowe, AAN News.
A setback in the move to pass a comprehensive immigration reform bill. The U.S. Senate recently failed to cut off debate on this issue, and with the prospect of endless debates on this bill, Majority Leader Henry Reid pulled the bill from the floor, which means passage of any immigration bill this year is not likely to happen. The Illinois Coalition of Immigrant and Refugee Rights said they're disappointed with the setback, but praises Senator Richard Durbin and Barack Obama for their continued support in this issue. Like most immigrant advocacy groups, the ICIRR wants legalization for the undocumented, a fair and humane treatment for guest workers, and family reunification programs. It's official, the Korean Americans in Chicago had voted for their leaders for the next 2 years. The Korean American Association of Chicago held their first public election and found an unexpected turnout.
Unlike past elections, this one had a high voter turnout. More than 6,300 Korean Americans showed up to vote. What's more surprising is the number of second-generation Korean Americans that took part in the election. The long process was worth the while for these three candidates who won more than 50% of the votes. Newly elected President Charlie Jung was unavailable for an interview, but we sat down with his two running mates to talk about their campaign.
As soon as I hear about we win, I'm worried so much because so many people, they expect to us. So I keep on thinking about what I'm gonna do is to better to them. Still thinking, even right now too.
So what is it that the Korean Americans in Chicago want?
They want some changes. The way we used to run Korean American associations by the first generation, older generations. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but they want some new voices. New generation, second generation wants to put their voices in there too.
The Korean American Association of Chicago represents more than 150,000 Koreans in the city. It has been 14 years since the Korean American public went to the polls to cast their ballots. That's because presidential candidates had been running without an opponent since 1993. The last election had two candidates running for president, but one was disqualified. This year, however, is the first time two presidential candidates face off, and the Korean public chose Charlie Jung and his two vice presidents to unite Korean Americans, bridging the gap between the first and second generations.
There's a lack of participation of second generation who speaks, mainly English. So, we like to, have an open door policy for every generations, and then also we have some kind of a project, who second generation people can join us. With their voices.
The trio will assume their volunteer-based positions starting July.
When we come back, find out how the Chicago Children's Choir got a musical boost with the help of one outstanding Asian American, what the mayor has to say about immigrants, and we've got just the place to satisfy your sweet tooth. All up next on AAN. Chicago's Mayor Daley kicked off the annual Sister City Festival last week, taking the chance to say that Chicago is a city of immigrants at the Daley Center.
The skyline has been built by immigrants. It will be continued built by immigrants. Everyone in this country is an immigrant, and we must remember that it's a great history, the great history of the city of Chicago.
The week-long festival opened with China presenting a daring feat of the Shaolin Kung Fu. Shanghai and Shenyang are two Chinese cities that Chicago adopted in 1985. Each of Chicago's 27 sister cities was called on stage while people of different nationalities watched in appreciation.
These types of festivals give us an opportunity to appreciate our differences, also remember what a great country we live in.
This year, Chicago adopted Lahore, Pakistan, and Busan, Korea as her new sister cities. This meant Chicago would be committed to economic and cultural exchanges with the foreign cities.
In Southeast Asia, Indonesians took to the streets 2 weeks ago after finding out that Myanmar's democracy icon Aung San Suu Kyi was held in house arrest by the Burmese military in power. Recently, the Canadian Parliament joined the call to release the Nobel Peace Prize winner, and Indonesians protested in front of the Myanmar embassy in Jakarta. News reports say the military regime said Suu Kyi was being held for her own safety, but later claimed that she was a threat to the national security of the country. Aung San Suu Kyi has been under house arrest since 1989. Her latest review came up on May 25th, but her house arrest term was extended by 1 year by the military junta, despite worldwide protests and a clear violation of international law. A multi-awarded Asian American conductor is on the rise in the Chicago performing arts circuit. A young and upcoming conductor, this Chicagoan has received much recognition in the Windy City's music scene.
To understand each other's ethnic differences during the civil rights movement, a group of young people with diverse backgrounds came together to make beautiful music in the mid-1950s.
The Chicago Children's Choir was founded in 1956 in Hyde Park, Chicago, actually, by a gentleman named Reverend Christopher Moore. He wanted to bring in children from different walks of life, different cultures, different socioeconomic backgrounds to come together to create a better world.
Now in its 50th year, the Chicago Children's Choir continues to celebrate diversity and harmony among Chicago's youth. In 1999, an Asian American conductor made history. She was named the choir's youngest artistic director ever. Under Josephine Lee's direction, the choir has undertaken many highly successful national and international tours.
She evolved the choir in a way that it was never sounded like before. And because of her age and everything, I think that's amazing that she could achieve that sound.
As the choir's director, Lee continued to make waves in the performing arts world. In 2007, Ms. Lee was honored as a distinguished musician by the Union League Club of Chicago. Lee was also recognized as a 2006 Chicagoan of the Year in the Arts by Chicago Tribune.
It's an honor. I was born and raised in Chicago, and I never thought this would happen. You never live life thinking, this is what I'm going to become, or this is how I'm going to be recognized. You live life promoting your vision and living with love and passion and living truthfully and ethically and doing your best.
Being a conductor is not an easy task to do, but Lee made it look so effortless.
Honestly, it's a miracle. I have an amazing team of people.
For Asian Americans trying to find their own niche in this world, Lee says success in life comes from within.
Follow your passion. Follow your heart. Do what makes you feel the happiest, because life is so short, and I think we have to maximize the time that we have, the limited time that we have on this earth, but doing things that are positive.
Don Tagala, AAN News.
Over in Uptown, a top Asian American chef had just the recipe to hit your sweet spot. Peter Yoon is an award-winning pastry chef, and lucky for us Chicagoans, he opened a new pastry shop right here in Argyle. Elaine Lowe takes us there for more.
One of Chicago's sweet spots just got a little sweeter. Award-winning pastry chef Peter Yoon recently opened a new cafe along Argyle and Broadway, not far from his flagship bakery and family business, La Patisserie P.
I'm kind of like a second-generation baker, so I've been in the business for a long time. In fact, almost as long as 25 years. This new location is called Sweet Passion. It's kind of my pet project.
This sister cafe is a little more upscale, featuring a lot of fresh gelato and all sorts of sugary confections. Chef Yoon's talents have even earned him a spot on the U.S. Bread Bakers Guild team, which will compete in the so-called Olympics of Baking in 2008.
It's sort of like we're going to be going to the World Cup of Baking. It happens every 3 years, and it's sort of like an Olympic for all bakers. And I won a spot on the team, so it's I'm very happy with that. There's 3 persons on the team, official team that represent the United States, and it's a true honor for me to be on the team.
And while Chef Yoon has plenty of pastry to brag about, it's his signature confection, Celebration, a dark mousse cake with tropical flavors that won him Best in Taste at the 17th Annual U.S. Pastry Competition.
It's a very complicated cake. It does have a large amount of chocolate element. It has a dark chocolate mousse, a white chocolate vanilla mousse, and then I come up with a tropical combination flavor, which it has mango, lime, and lychee. And it has a dark chocolate sponge cake alongside with that.
To try some of Sweet Passion's savory sweets, go to 1142 West Argyle by the Argyle Red Line. Elaine Lowe, AAN News.
A Filipino star left her showbiz career in the Philippines for the U.S. to chase her own American dream. She may not have made it to Hollywood yet, but she continues to captivate Filipino-American fans as she tours around the nation. Our Don Tagala has the exclusive interview during her recent tour in Indiana.
Filipino Americans rocked the night away with Filipino sexy star Jezza Zaragoza in an intimate concert in Indiana. It's been a decade since her trademark song hit platinum in the Philippines, but Jezza Zaragoza's Bakit Pa was still a big hit among Filipinos during her recent Indiana concert. They sang and danced to Zaragoza's modern-day jukebox repertoire. It was the sexy diva's first time to perform in the Hoosier stage.
It's nice, it's very good. I hope they come back next year. We enjoy it, yeah! All right! That's my fans, yeah!
Jessa, she's a perfect and professional. Very good. And
I think she still has it. I won't specify, but she still has it. I mean the voice, though.
Almost a year ago, Jezza and husband Ding Dong Avanzado left their booming careers in the homeland to chase their American dream and start a new life as legal U.S. residents in Vallejo, California. A risk they had to take in search for a better future.
You have to take the risk din talaga. Kasi syempre, risk din itong ginawa namin na pagpunta sa ibang bansa, dahil dito talaga magsisimula kami. Pero syempre, mas maganda rin sa buhay yung nagpaplano ka hanggang okay ka pa, hanggat kaya mo pa. Hindi yung kung kailan wala ka na, nakatulala ka na, parang, wow, oh my gosh, anong gagawin ka na?
Living in the States wasn't all that easy for the famous couple, a stark contrast from their affluent showbiz lifestyle in the Philippines.
Narealize ko masyado kaming, lalo na yung mga artista, masyado kaming spoiled sa Pilipinas. Kasi nandun talaga all the help. Meron yung anak ko, may yaya. Ako meron akong sariling yaya, meron akong personal assistant, merong driver. Pero dito sa States, you have to do everything by yourself.
Zaragoza says it may not be that easy living a normal life in the U.S., but it was the right decision, with their daughter Jada's future as their topmost priority. Don Tagala, AAN News, Schererville, Indiana.
A local Starbucks employee who won a music contest is now known as Starbucks Rising Star. Meet the musically talented barista, an Asian-American indie artist by the name of Dawan Wang.
You may not recognize his face, but you might soon recognize his voice. Dawan Wang, Starbucks barista and up-and-coming musician, was recently voted as Chicago's favorite artist in a contest sponsored by Starbucks and WXRT Radio.
So I just saw this little poster out back in the back over there, and thought, oh, I'm working on my demo, the timing is right.
The Northwestern grad has been making music ever since he was in college and describes his music as socially conscious pop.
Well, the song that they're going to be playing on the radio this Saturday at around 8 p.m. on WXRT 93 FM is called Wake Up. And it was born from my frustration as a music student at Northwestern, actually, where I studied. And it deals with, that song in particular deals with the way Asian Americans are portrayed in the media. And then in general, and I use that kind of as a launching pad for these other, thoughts I had about social issues.
And as for his music, his co-workers at the Starbucks on State and Pearson have nothing but glowing reviews.
I love it. I think it's really cute and bubbly. Me and Don was always singing a song, singing along with the radio, and I'm just really happy that he actually won. I can taste your culture.
Darwin and two other winners received airtime on WXRT Radio and will play at Fitzgerald's in Berwyn on August 1st.
One of the bands is called It's a Wise Child, and another one is The Blisters. They're well known in the city. And all three of us will be playing on the 1st, but we'll all be playing 2 shows throughout the summer on a Thursday somewhere at a Starbucks near you.
To hear more of his music, go to myspace.com/DollarWrong. With AAN News, Elaine Lowe.
Thank you for choosing AAN, your Asian news leader. Please note that we will air on Monday nights at 7:30, starting June 25th. Meanwhile, you can catch our rebroadcast Tuesday mornings at 8 and tune in next Monday. Our Don Tagala has the latest on the Brown's chicken murder sentencing. If you have any questions about our show or have story ideas, write us at aan41@gmail.com. I'm Ingrid Yanara. Thanks for watching.